Hi guys, this is Dr. Wendy Coburn here, just coming at you from home, wanting to share some information with you. Just the pressing need for chiropractic care during pregnancy and especially postnatally with our little ones, right from the get-go, before they're 2 months, before they're 3 months, before they're 6 months, 1 year, 2 years, up into the age of 7. The first and really true subluxation happens under the age of 7 years of age, and it can set up a child for the rest of their life for stress in their system, and maybe even, as adults, if we weren't checked. A lot of problems that we have currently as adults started when we were small. So in utero, especially in that last trimester, the pain-pleasure mechanism in our neurology actually develops. There's my dog. Actually develops within us, and how we will respond to that system throughout the rest of our life. So having proper stress-free communication in the neurology of mom and communicating with baby in terms of messaging through the nerve system and cells and nutrition going through that umbilical cord is really, really essential. During the delivery process, what can happen, even if it's a natural, normal, healthy delivery, fast, long, perfect time, if it's a forceps delivery, if it's a vacuum delivery, there still is a potential for upper cervical injury between the base of the skull and the first few vertebrae. And that can really impact that dural meningial respiratory system. That impacts how that cranial sacral fluid flows up and down the spinal cord to allow the entire body to have ease, how the nerve system develops, how we grow and adapt to all the sensory coming at us in those first few years of life, because that sets us up for a lifetime in terms of how our nerve system is going to interact with the world and how everything functions, how we heal. And any dysfunction in there can really start to cause some disruption in how the rest of our physiology works. So we want to make sure right from the get-go, especially those first 2-3 months, that we're checking and that there's no interference there. If there has been an injury, to making sure we're helping the body heal itself by getting that dural meningeal stress out of there that's creating tension in that nerve system, if you will, and tractioning in there. It's not really what we call a bony subluxation because the bones are still forming, but it really does impact just the amount of tension from the nerve system and how it attaches from the very bottom of the spinal cord, which comes to the coccyx, into the sacrum, which is in through the lower back, up through the spinal cord, up into the upper cervical spine, up into the what's called the falx cerebri part of the brain, and up into how the periosteum or lining of the brain. And if there's constant stress and tension on there, it can really impact sometimes early symptoms in a child in terms of fussiness and dysfunction, and we don't really notice it until they get a little bit older and they start to have headaches and potentially some balance issues and other symptoms starting to show up. So no symptom is a good time to get a baby checked for a well baby checkup to make sure they're growing and developing properly, and they peak in terms of their synapses, how those nerves connect and talk to each other. They're called synapses. At around 8 months, the biggest growth and development phase happens in around there. So you want to make sure there's nothing interfering and blocking how those synapses grow and develop. Because in our little ones, they will develop about 1,000 to 100,000 synapses in a day. Just absolutely incredible. And by the time we're 1, we get 1 and 2, we get about 90% of our gray matter developed. We want to make sure as that's growing in our brain that there's no interference to how that is growing and developing, and the white matter usually gets fully developed by the age of 6 or 7. That's why that age is so crucial and important. That we're making sure that as our kiddos are starting life, the foundation of their nerve system, which controls everything in their body, how everything functions, how everything heals, how they repair and replace cells, how they breathe, how their heart beats, how their immune system works, that foundational piece, that nerve system, is as strong, as healthy as it possibly can be to help them throughout their entire lifetime. So please make sure you're getting your little ones getting checked right from the get-go from a pediatric chiropractor, to make sure that foundation is nice and strong, so they can adapt to all the stresses and load of life coming at them versus starting at a what we call a lower tone level, where they're not able to keep up and adapt very, very well, or as efficiently and effectively and function as well as they should. But even getting checked during pregnancy to making sure that, Mom, your nerve system is firing really, really well as baby's growing and developing. So your neurology through that umbilical cord is communicating with baby through all those cells. And so baby's also communicating with you, and that the nutrients flowing, impacting baby and impacting you is doing what it is designed to do. If you want more of the information in terms of how the physiology works, I will be creating some posts, breaking them down into smaller chunks, talking about specific things at different milestones, different ages and phases, and the importance of them. Not everybody wants that, not everybody cares about that. I love it, I thrive on it, and I think, you know, some people that come and see me are attracted to learning more about that. So keep an eye out for some of that information, and make sure that you do ask. So we are helping our kiddos start life and live life to the greatest potential, you know, and as they're growing, keep an eye out too, you know, making sure that we're keeping their nerve systems and their spinal healthy throughout a lifetime for them and for you, because different traumas, physical, mental, emotional, nutritional traumas, can impact them as well, but in different ways. But that's a topic for another day. Thank you very much, guys. I look forward to meeting you, visiting with you, and talking to you more about this. Have an awesome day.